Ave Maria, and welcome to episode 18 of Marian Shrines of the World. The story of Our Lady of Aparecida begins on October the 12th, 1717, when Brazil was still a colony of Portugal. On that day, Pedro de Almeida, the governor of São Paulo, was passing through a small city in the Paraíba river valley between Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo. The people of the area decided to hold a feast in his honour, and among the many fishermen who went down to the Paraíba river waters to fish for the feast were three in particular: Domingos Garcia, João Alves, and Felipe Pedroso. They prayed to Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception and asked for God's help because it wasn't the best season for fishing. After several hours they had not caught any fish, and they were ready to give up. However, one of them, João Alves, threw out his net and, instead of fish, he hauled in the body of a small clay statue with its head missing. They cast out the net once again and pulled in the head of that same statue. Since the statue was small, less than 40 centimetres tall, they considered the incident to be more than mere coincidence. After cleaning the statue, they found that it was Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception. Tradition has it that when the fishermen recovered the body, then the head, the slender figure of Our Lady, became so heavy that they couldn't budge it. They named the statue Our Lady of the Appeared Conception, wrapped it in a cloth and continued to fish. The number of fish which they filled, having their nets so full that they returned to port because the weight threatened to sink their craft. It was a statue of Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception that had appeared from the river waters. Therefore, it soon became known as Our Lady of the Conception who appeared from the waters, which in shortened form became Our Lady Aparecida, Our Lady who appeared. Being the oldest, Felipe Pedroso brought the statue to his home, where it remained for the next 15 years. Neighbours came to venerate it. The fame of the image grew and pilgrimages became commonplace. Soon a small prayer chapel was built for the statue, and then in 1737 a larger one was constructed near the site where it had appeared in the waters. From the beginning there were many miracles. At times when the candles in the chapel would go out, they would be relighted by themselves. A blind girl was miraculously cured. There is also the story about the man who boasted that he could enter the church on horseback, but when he tried to enter, the horse was unable to kick open the door with his hoofs. A hoof print of the horse can be seen at the churchyard in a stone that has been preserved in the museum. Another story recounts how in 1790 a fugitive slave was being brought back to his estate by his owner and was passing the chapel. He asked permission to go up and visit the church to say some prayers. While he was in prayer before the statue, the chains miraculously fell off his neck and his wrists, both falling to the ground. Moved by this fact, the owner freed him, paying the price of liberating a slave and placing the money on the altar, and the owner led the slave home as a free man. The number of pilgrims to see the statue increased dramatically, and in 1834 work on a larger church was begun and was completed in 1888. On December the 8th, 1904, on the 50th anniversary of the proclamation of the dogma of the Immaculate Conception, Pope St. Pius X declared Our Lady of Aparecida as Queen of Brazil, and she was crowned by the Archbishop of São Paulo. The golden crown was donated by exiled Brazilian Princess Isabel. In 1931, the country was officially consecrated to Our Lady of Aparecida. In 1955, construction began on the present Romanesque-style basilica. It contains 18,000 square metres of floor space, which can accommodate 45,000 pilgrims. In 1967, to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the discovery of the statue, Pope Paul VI sent a golden rose that was placed at the foot of her throne. On July the 4th, 1980, 4 years before its completion, Pope John Paul II consecrated the sanctuary under the name Our Lady of Aparecida. Pope Benedict XVI visited the Basilica on May 12, 2007 and awarded the shrine a golden rose. It is the largest Marian shrine in the world, receiving some 5 million pilgrims annually, and is the second largest basilica in the world, second only to St. Peter's in the Vatican. On the occasion of World Youth Day, Pope Francis visited the basilica on July the 24th, 2013, venerating the image of Our Lady of Aparecida and celebrating Mass at the shrine. The Holy Father, as with all people who come to the shrine, is attracted in a very special way by the image of Our Lady. The visit to the image of Our Lady is the primary focus of their visit to the shrine. Here they spend time in quiet prayer, speaking humbly to Our Lady. They establish a very tender dialogue with Mary. The feast day of Our Lady of Aparecida is celebrated on October the 12th, and not only is it a holy day of obligation in Brazil, but it has also become a national holiday. Let us conclude this episode of Marian Shrines of the World by quoting our Holy Father Pope Francis during his visit to the shrine of Our Lady of Aparecida. Dear friends, we have come to knock at the door of Mary's house. She has opened it for us. She has let us in, and she shows us her Son. Now she asks us to do whatever he tells you. Yes, dear Mother, we are committed to doing whatever Jesus tells us, and we will do it with hope, trusting in God's surprises and full of joy. Our Lady of Aparecida, pray for us. Ave Maria.